Hello. Welcome to the Pilgrim's Rest, where the patron is the most important part of our business. Also home to a bloodthirsty collection of cannibals and their twisted demon mother goddess. Oh, and one soon-to-be-dead cook. I am Henpecked, a simple bun master who has been enslaved in this awful place, but there are even greater things at stake than my life. I know the forest shadow is dead. The earth heaved against itself as the caves below opened. That doesn't mean it's too late. If you could defeat her, then surely you can defeat these beasts. I don't care what they're offering you. You can't let these things live. Please find a way to stop these beasts. The only thing they seem to fear is this forest shadow. Perhaps she can help you. I beg of you, please try. I am Ho, your humble cook. I'm also in charge of the few supplies the inn actually stocks, if you have need of them. Though I am weary and worked to the bone, I'm here to help you. What can I do for you today? Hello again. Can I interest you in some of my simple items? There's nothing. It's nothing. I just thought, well, I was hoping that... would you like a bun? I can't tell you. Not here. Not now. They're listening. Ask him? He might give you an answer you do not want, but if you must, then do so forewarned. Perhaps you could, though I'm not so sure. Go and speak to the innkeeper. Ask him about the twisted servants of the mother. See how he reacts to that. Be prepared when you speak to him. That's all I'm saying about this. Yes, I'm sure you will. I'd be happy to. I'm sure you understand that my stocks are limited. In fact, if you think about it, with the ghosts filling the forest, I shouldn't have any supplies at all. Yes it is. Ah, well, have a look, and tell me if you see anything you like. Of course. Here you are. I don't know much about this forest at all. I was only passing through and I, stopped at this inn. Turned out to be a longer stay than I anticipated. How very lucky for me. I seem to just stumble into these situations. I don't really go in for celestial politics, but I will say that it's awfully odd that the inn folk seem to hate her so. To hear them talk, she's practically insane with bloodlust. But everything here seems perfectly normal, wouldn't you say? No, it doesn't. But why then are they so scared of this forest shadow? Well, I've probably said enough. Ah, well, if she attacked you, then she must be mad as a mountain farmer. Unless there was some mistaken identity, of course. The keeper has more than enough to say for both of us about the forest shadow. Go ask him if you have more questions. If only it were that easy. To go, that is. That's a very good point. I suppose I'll try to find the sunny side of this situation. That's more like it. Now you're more in line with the spirit around here. Take very good care. Good. I'll go back to trying to look inconspicuous. Your job isn't done, though. There are still more cannibals in the hill. The hill heaved a short while ago and dislodged a panel in the kitchen wall. These creatures seem to think it was a new way into the caves below. If you truly want to finish this, you must deal with the mother. The cannibals talked about her often. She's down there somewhere, corrupting everyone who gets close. I now see the flaw in teaching you the style. I'll keep you supplied with wine if you keep those beasts away from me. It must be safer than this place. Good luck. You'll need it, I'm afraid. I don't know how to get in there, though. The cannibals were dead set against that forest shadow. They didn't want anyone going near the temple. Maybe you could find her and get some answers. Now, let's get out of here before the cannibals change their mind, or get hungry again. Thanks to your deal with the keeper, I'm allowed to go free in your custody or company, as you see fit. You may have sided with them, but at least you're human. It's a relief to be away from their hungry stares. Why not? You already abandoned the forest to them. No, that was unfair. You did what you did for a reason, and I'm alive because of it. I'm just glad to be alive, and I have you to thank for that. Those beasts wouldn't have let me go otherwise. You should meet my wife. You two would get along. That was astonishing. I haven't seen such martial skills in an eatery since the last time I added ginger to my wife's hot and sour soup. I kept hoping you would come over and talk to me so I could try and tip you off. It seems you didn't need my help at all. Thank you for your great kindness in rescuing me. Now that these beasts are dead, I can finally talk to you. My name is Henpecked, and before you ask, I'm not one of those monsters. They kept me prisoner so that I could seem normal to the customers. Not exactly the generous deed I was expecting from the one who rescued me from the cannibals. But it is your choice, after all.
I'm not afraid. I've got Yushin to play with. And to hurt forever!
This whole ordeal is making my spine crawl. If we're done here, I suggest we keep moving. Are you crazy? The ship nearly killed us when it fell, not to mention the weapons firing. Looks like you've managed to open that door, though. Now I suppose you're going to want to go in and explore it.
The penalty for all who enter is death. I, Jianxi, the great elephant demon, must crush you.
Do you see? This is what dropping heavily armed flyers and exploring caves that were very securely locked will get you. Some people never learn.
Your threat holds little power over me. I deserve to suffer. I deserve death. I would have done it myself were it not I were such a coward. Yes, do it. I only ask that you make it quick.
My goodness! I didn't see that coming. Please warn me when you're about to remove a man's head from his shoulders. I'd like to avoid the splatter of blood next time. I certainly hope you know what you're doing. Trusting our lives to the river is one thing, but trusting them to this drunken bosun is another matter entirely. That man has the tools to be a great drunken master. Unfortunately, you have to actually be sober to learn the style. It's too late to turn back now. We have to finish this before it gets worse. This is going to end badly. I can tell. Perhaps we should try to not antagonize the fox with the burning halo of fire, All I know is that I'll never look at meat the same way again.
Whoa, almost didn't see the little guy. Is he with you too?
Yes, I am, you great behemoth. Looks like I'm going to need a lot more supplies if I'm supposed to keep you fed. You left more destruction and shattered lives behind you than my wife shopping for a new hat. I'm clearly going crazy, but I wanted to be here. This thing, mother, whatever, it has to be destroyed.
There's no way you're going down there without us. I came here to help you deal with this mother thing. Spearcatch's Leaf told me to look after you, so here I am.
Yes, well, it's obvious you two are fine on your own. I'll just wait here.
Oh, no, you don't. We'll all go together. Besides, I need you to keep the wine flowing. I'm always more dangerous when I'm drunk.
Well, there's no turning back now. Who knows how many more cannibals are down there? When you're ready, let's finish this mother off. Those pillars don't look stable. She's too strong to defeat without using your head. That ceiling can't be stable with that hole in it. That thing's hide is too tough to cut. She's just trying to wear you down. You can't beat her with just your fists. Quit wasting time. You've got to drop the ceiling on her. If you knock those pillars down, this place will collapse like a bad cake. Isn't this why you practice breaking all those bricks? Hit the pillars! That's it! You could feel the earth move when that pillar fell. Keep doing that. She'll be in for a surprise. There's no end to them, just like my wife's cousins. You'll kill us if we don't get out of here soon. Look there! That's our only chance! The only thing more lucrative is hawking steamed buns in the Scholars' Garden during the annual debates. If the baker weights the buns right, even a scholar can fling them hard enough to end most any argument.
No! I will go. Please don't hurt my mother. I'll get the artifact for you. I promise.
Poor girl. I would not want to be in her shoes.
Do not try to apprehend the Scourge of the South, but instead report what you've seen to the authorities immediately.
Scourge of the South? That's got a certain ring to it. Too bad they didn't get your appearance right. Or perhaps it's good they didn't. If this captain wanted a real hunter, he should be hiring my wife. There's a woman who can scent a crime from miles away.
Wuwuwir wakwakir fonir sisa ukopkipo kusu ukut.
Must everyone demand an example of skill? This never works out in their favor.
The average citizen of the Empire is worthless. They're nothing more than cattle. In this they can at least serve some useful purpose.
We have to find proof of Death's Hand ordering this, but I don't want it in anybody's hands. That was so cruel. I do not know if I have the stomach for this. Is such an act necessary? I can attest how far and fast the deathly frightened can run.
What? Thank you. Thank you so much. I knew someone would stop them. Someone kind and honest.
I'd run if I were you. Ah, I thought you did them a favor, but I suppose not. I'm certainly glad you didn't hunt me down after freeing me from the cannibals. This is what we fight against? Death's Hand, or the Emperor. We face a monster.
You, new blood. Get over there and occupy those ghosts until I can get real Lotus assassins to clean them up. Golem production cannot be delayed by this.
Oh, I do not like the sound of this. You know, I was just thinking how I needed to feel even more expendable. I am growing to dislike that man. Oh, good. I don't think I could stomach leaving them here. They take whomever they want. I'm glad we have avoided the same fate. So far. At least you've managed to survive. There's always something to be thankful for. A small chance, but they deserve better. No, let me speak. Look here, you are limiting your future returns by not paying attention to market fluctuation. Your customer base is about to be, truncated. Violently.
Aworth utkur wo kokopia kawa ya elwoth.
That's how you appeal to a merchant, if you don't mind me saying. It is sad that he could talk like that. This place colors your thinking. This seems very familiar to me. I'd best not mention it to my wife. You know, far be it from me to presume, but I have an idea of how we might be able to solve this problem. My glorious wife's third cousin is a minor official in the Ministry of Harmony. I know a little something of the way Judge Fang conducts his business. Yes, of course, I do not mean to incur your wrath, but it's only that I know something of the way the Ministry of Harmony does business. All of Fang's ministers bring him an honor gift when they go to see him, an offering given as a sign of respect, a bribe, some might call it. If we replace Sheng's honor gift with something insulting, rare turtle eggs, for example, Fang would be so outraged he'd refuse to even listen to Sheng's report. It's true, a gift of turtle eggs would be as insulting as a box of manure, even more so because they are so difficult to track down, whereas manure is somewhat common. I admit there are still some details yet to be worked out, but acquiring the eggs is easy. I have some here that you can simply have.
You have turtle eggs? Here? After just saying they are very rare?
Well, I was saving them for my coming anniversary. You buy early if you want them to be ripe. It doesn't really matter, does it? There are more daunting problems to consider. For example, how will you sneak past Sheng's guards to make the switch? Well, that's certainly news. I'll reserve my judgment about whether it's good. Let's go tell the others once we leave the arena. This whole alone thing smells fishier than week-old crab cakes. If something comes up, I'll be waiting outside with the others. Be careful. Normally I would warn that such arrogance would bring the wrath of the heavens, but you appear to have a far more intimate understanding of them than I do. My surprise is tempered by knowing that spouses and companions will follow beyond reason. Far, far beyond. Remind me again why I encouraged you to fight these cannibals. My wife's right. I am a short-sighted fool. No other place in the Empire can compare to the Imperial City. I love the peaceful bustle of commerce, and the absence of my wife. Ah, the smell of success. My sweet Lily would prefer that I smell of sweat and yeast instead. The garden is a beautiful place, but there's only a title's difference between a scholar and a fool who won't shut up. It's times like this when the thought of seeing my wife again actually gives me hope. Somehow I always pictured the golems being pieced together, like a puzzle. Gia seems like a reasonable woman. Of course, I only have my wife as a comparison. They say spirits can sense your fear. I fear they knew I was coming before we left the city. I know I've said this before, but this time I really do have a bad feeling about this. No man alive was meant to see this, or would want to. What are you waiting for? Kill him quickly, or we'll all be dead! Can you smell that? Civilized tea and buns. It has been a long time since I have enjoyed such simple pleasures. This is quite a remarkable market for such a small village. Perhaps my wife would like to retire here. With me, of course. Never a thought otherwise. Step lightly around these fireworks, or whatever they are. After years of married bliss, I am uncomfortable around anything with a short fuse. Flooded once more. Out of sight, out of mind, I suppose.
That's good wine you've got here, Ho. Not too sweet, not too sour, and it has a good kick to it.
I'm pleased you like it, though I'm afraid you like it a little bit too much. At this rate, we'll run out of wine before we get back to the Imperial City.
I hope you're joking, Ho. You don't want to see me when I'm sober. You really don't.
Don't tell him anything. I know your kind Sky, pilfering things from honest men, inciting the wrath of their wives. Sure, you help us now, but what chaos will you bring? Constantly. From urchins stealing buns to the theft of an entire oven. The Imperial City is thick with his type.
Well, I assure you I had nothing to do with that, as far as I can remember. The Imperial City, you say? Yes, I'm almost certain that wasn't me.
Of course, I am sorry. I'm sure he won't stoop to stealing from friends.
Fair enough. All I know is that if a dog slips its leash for several months, the owners usually give up looking. Maybe this is your chance.
That is like suggesting the moon might give up its chase of the stars. I have more chance of becoming emperor than of gaining my freedom.
Oh, you're right. I'd be unleashing a monster on an unsuspecting female populace. This will likely get me into trouble, but I have to ask, is your wife really that bad, Ho? You must be exaggerating to some degree, right?
I exaggerate nothing, but I will not discuss such things so close to my home here in the city. My watchful wife has habit of appearing when I least expect it. So, Kang, how many iterations of your flyers did you make before settling on such a safe design?
Somewhere near 1. I disregard the designs each time.
Nonsense. Make the most of what you are given. For instance, when my wife says my buns are terrible, it really means they weren't completely unpalatable. Oh, I am quite happy with my lot in life. But if great concerns take me away from my idyllic home for seasons at a time, I will shoulder the burden as best I can. Yes, let's all have a good laugh at the expense of the bun master. We'll see how funny it is the next time you're sipping some of my soup, It's funny what fighting for your life will bring back. Remind me to tell you about it someday. A lot of what we're doing here reminds me of my marriage. I'll tell you about it someday, if you have time. There, you got it. That's beside the point for now. I must thank you, as I clearly owe you my life. Well, you did, and now I owe you my life. I will happily repay that debt any way I can. These cannibals were getting desperate enough to cook even someone as ropey as me. The last thing I needed was to be dragged into the caves below. I heard a lot about the caves from the cannibals. There's something down there they call the Mother, and I think whatever, is what made them what they are. She is some sort of greater demon the cannibals serve. I think she's the reason they're as twisted as they are. From what I overheard, the Mother was trapped in this hill before sagacious Chen forged the Jade Empire, but something has disturbed her. I don't know how or why this Mother of theirs has returned to the world, but if she can do this to men, she must be stopped. That is something I do not know. They would leave the inn and then return. I wasn't in a position to ask for details. I don't know for sure, only that there are many more of them. From the sounds of it, they've been capturing people and changing them. The ones they don't eat, that is. Is there anything else that I can help you with? Well, they're cannibals. They were once men, but they were corrupted, twisted into flesh-eating abominations. The keeper, the one who met everyone, including yourself, at the door, had some skill with magic. You might have seen through the illusion in time, but most people never get the chance. They're usually taken, or worse, changed into one of them. They kept me around in hopes that I would make this place seem more normal, and they needed me to help run the inn. They're none too bright, really. I resolved to try and tip off the first warrior who dared come to this place. The cannibals must be stopped. They claimed that they were changed by a creature called the Mother in the caves below. Apparently she's an ancient demon responsible for twisting these sick creatures. A good idea. Even talking about them makes me queasy. They spoke often about the Mother in the caves nearby. They used this inn as a base and a way to lure people to increase their food stocks and swell their ranks. What they failed to realize is that the forest is polluted with ghosts. No travelers means no food, whether people think this place is normal or not. Maybe they had some plan around that, but I doubt it. They are not forward thinkers, these beasts. How it all ties together, I'm not exactly sure. I don't know what you have planned exactly, but I hope you intend to finish the good work you started. They were celebrating the release of the Mother not too long ago. Somehow she was freed from the Forest Shadow's trap or cage, something like that. If you want to learn more, you'll need to face them directly. There's a new opening at the back of the kitchen that I think will take you deeper into the caves. You killed the cannibals up here, but there's more in the caves below. I don't know how they got in or out, or how they took prisoners down there. I do know that they were terrified of something called the Forest Shadow. I'm willing to bet that would be a good place to start. If you're planning to tackle these beasts, I want to help. In my own way, of course. I'm not much with my fists. Not anymore, anyway. But you'd be surprised what tricks an old bunmaster might know. Have you ever heard of Drunken Master style? Drunken Master uses alcohol to loosen the body, deaden pain, and create unpredictable moves. It is unique, deadly, and entertaining all at once. I was a master. Top of my game and well known in Phoenix Gate, one of the great cities in the prosperous East. My skills earned me fame, fortune, and a wife. You weren't listening. Fame, fortune, and a wife. Teaching is all I can do. As I said, fame, fortune, and a wife. I discovered fairly early on that she had opinions, most of them regarding alcohol and my regular consumption of it. I can still teach you, though. She has never expressly forbidden that. I have a few bottles on me right now if you'd like to learn. Pay attention, I don't like repeating myself. Now, when I am with you, I can throw you bottles of wine. You must pick these up in order to use Drunken Master. I can't believe my luck. I arrive home after being lost, only to find that my wife has gone off to visit relatives. No, you misunderstand me. My wife, she's not here. I thought I was as good as dead. Now my execution is delayed, until her eventual return, of course. I am very happy indeed. Instead of dying upon my return home, I am free. Until she returns, of course. Yes, of course, anything you like. Today I am feeling impulsive. Yes? How can this humble bunmaster assist you today? You're beginning to sound like my wife. Where were you last night? Why were you talking to that woman? Why do you smell like a goat? Always with the questions. As I mentioned earlier, after becoming tournament champion for the second time, I was forced to marry my sponsor's nubile niece. She is the reason I no longer fight. My disapproving dove did not care for my drinking, or for my friends, or my fighting, or my friends fighting. She believed I should settle down, be more respectable. At first I ignored her rebukes and continued fighting, but I soon learned that she was not a woman to be crossed. Prior to one fight, my duplicitous Daisy drugged my wine. I don't remember much of what happened next, which is fortunate. From what I hear, it wasn't very pretty. I spent the next several months under the tender ministrations of my doting wife. Needless to say, when I was well enough to walk again, I was more than happy to settle down. We made it this far. How hard can it be from here? From what I've seen, you're more than capable of handling anything we're likely to encounter. I can't believe that Silk Fox and Princess Liane are one and the same. She's a tough woman. Maybe tougher than my wife, and far more bold. But her plan to infiltrate the Lotus Assassin Fortress seems more than a little foolhardy. Those assassins are trained killers. Even my wife fears them. On the upside, if I die at the hands of the Lotus Assassins, I won't have to face my lovely wife when she returns. I should have stayed with the cannibals. I think you need somebody like me to keep your camp in order while you're off invading the fortress. I can make sure there's some hot soup waiting for you. Turtle egg soup, perhaps. Now, there's a thought. Where did I put those turtle eggs? I've seen many things in my life that scare me. Many of them with you, I might add. This place terrifies me. My knees are shaking so badly I'm going to have bruises. These assassins are very well trained. They obey without question, pay no heed to their pain or their needs, and they work tirelessly for their masters with little reward. Come to think of it, they live a life much like mine. But then, they don't have to share a bed with my wife. I can't believe we're actually going to see the Emperor himself. This is a most propitious day. If my wife were here, she'd... Actually, I'd rather not think about that. I am, however, looking forward to meeting your master. I'd like to know if he's familiar with my Drunken Master style. But I suppose we should get ready to go. Just give me the word, and I'll get the camp packed up and ready to go. I can't believe we're actually inside the Emperor's palace. I must admit, I feel as though I'm trespassing, like I don't belong here. Perhaps the Emperor can give me some courage. I seem to have lost mine. My prescient pretty has an uncanny knack for derailing my plans, in case you haven't already noticed. I have tried several times to leave, but it always fails miserably. Some say there are spirits out there that masquerade as people, and I suspect she may be one of them. She has my soul, and there's nothing I can do about it. One time, I tried to sneak away while she was delivering a special order of buns to her uncle's family. As I started to leave, I slipped on some oil and broke my arm. Still, I put my arm in a sling and was continuing on my way when I was run down by a rogue bun cart. When I came to, my wife had returned and was in a foul mood. Apparently, everyone she had visited died from food poisoning. But why not her? I mean, I'm sure she ate at least one of the buns I sent. I am saying no such thing. It is simply my lot in life to be given into the care of a demon whose sole sustenance comes from sucking the very life from my body and soul. Soup, anyone? Good, good. I'll be here, struggling to keep up with you if you should need anything. As you say, I will be here scrubbing your pots until you call upon me again. Stories, stories, stories. There are no more. If I tell you anything more, I will have no secrets left. A good bunmaster must always have a few secrets. Not now. Memories of my wife are difficult to bear, especially when I am here and she could be so far, far, far away.
There's always too much talk after a battle. Axes are better than words for deciding things.
Your weapons will see some use soon enough, you oaf. This pathetic whelp deserves no less.
Perhaps it is fortunate that there are others here who may wish to have a say in his fate.
I will speak for myself. No one else has the right to.
You don't wish to hear what led him to this? Perhaps it would be wise, just to ensure it does not happen again. To which of us do you speak? Does the newest addition get to vote as well? I do not like that he is here. It seems cruel, even if he was our enemy.
Tools must be respected, but they are still just tools.
That could apply to any of us. That is why this is cause for concern. Such a thing is not natural. I won't follow you if this continues. I'd rather face my wife again. Some of us find it a little more difficult to appreciate the threat he created. If this unpleasant matter is behind us, we will need to decide where to go next. We can't stay here indefinitely.
Agreed. This peace will not last. It would not be wise to wait for another assault.
Thank you for your mercy. I prefer my mind and body to be as much a team as possible. The time for reason has passed, I fear. Just because we have stood by our principles doesn't mean they will have any effect.
I could never beat you, and we both know it. I simply cannot follow you if you do this. Will no one else stand up for Sky's life?
I would agree with Miss Dawn Star.
Hold. Sky's fate is of no concern to me, but we cannot slaughter everyone who disagrees with you. They may be needed.
Yes, I am ever so useful.
Have some dignity, Ho. I will not follow this path, no matter the penalty.
I don't have anything more satisfying to offer, but it just seems a waste of life. I can't follow such a course. Will anyone else speak up?
You are on your own, fool.
I'm sorry, but Sky is a threat we cannot afford to have at our backs.
Perhaps I have acted too hastily. I don't wish to call my own loyalty into question. I tell you, I begin to miss the melodious voice of my wife. So peaceful compared to what follows you around. Sky's final fate is troubling, but I would not dare question your wisdom in the matter. Our definitions of choice may differ in this matter, but it was your burden to deal with, and I would not have enjoyed sharing it. I suppose all that matters is what is to come. It has been a rough road to get here, and tomorrow promises worse. I have no wish to have my life ended the way his was. You will find me a most obedient servant. Let philosophers argue the worth of fear or loyalty. I will follow whichever it pleases you to offer. It is good to see Sky still with us, although I doubt he likes this form of servitude. Not that I question your judgment. In my mind, it's preferable to the other options presented. I don't have the insight to say whether his loyalty was reliable before his binding or not. Your decision was a difficult one. I hope that eventually he will no longer need such restraints. Of course, I did not wish to anger you. I look forward to the day when we can return to our simpler lives, although I doubt that will be easy for everyone. Oh, it will be easy for me. I just cock an ear to the wind and listen. Eventually the shouts of my wife will make their way to me. I hope everyone has so clear a path, and a more peaceful arrival. That is a little troubling, but I trust your abilities. You have allowed us to survive so far. I hope that trend continues. While my duties don't seem to have changed much, I find this form of servitude even more degrading than the kind my gentle wife imposes. I am not alone in my own head. My every move is echoed in my mind by your approving or disapproving guidance. I appreciate your apology, but like my service, it seems a little forced under the circumstances. If you don't mind, I must do what I can to get everyone ready for the coming fight, as you would have it. I am beginning to recognize that. If there is nothing else, I must do what I can to ready everyone for the coming fight, just as you would have it. The confrontation with Emperor Sun Li will come sooner than any of us would like, I'm sure. Well, I can't say my time with you has been boring. Dangerous, nerve-wracking, even exciting at times, but never boring. You know, being here with you, I almost wish I was home with my wife instead. Almost. That seemed a drastic way to help the water dragon. I hope it does the trick and weakens Lee. Amazing. You give me hope. If you can defy a dragon god, maybe I could defy my wife. Just once. I suppose we must continue now, though my instincts and my feet would seem to disagree. Let me see. I'm terrified. I'm petrified. I think my pants need to be washed. What else would you like to know about me? I'm scared out of my wits, and I told you all the stories I have to tell. Perhaps we could resume this conversation later over some buns and tea? No sense dancing around it. You might as well have asked. My wife is unique. To say that she is as enduring as the wall itself is to do a disservice to her persistence. I could make similar comparisons between the force of her will and the Imperial Army, but I think you have the picture. You have no idea what you're suggesting. The last I saw of her, she was in the Imperial City. I was due back more than a week ago, and if she hasn't torn the place down looking for me, I'll be surprised. This does not seem to be the best time for discussion. The sound of falling rocks makes it difficult to hear, as does the pounding of my heart in my ears. Unlike my wife, I do not like to nag, but shouldn't we be finding Gia before we are buried alive? No, I think you will be most impressed with what I have to teach you. Yes, well, like most things in life, we simply must work with what we've got. Did I not mention how I dislike repeating myself? Never mind, I will explain it again. First, you must bring me with you if you intend to use the style. I will throw you bottles of wine, which you must pick up. The effect will wear off, so you must keep picking up the bottles. And remember to keep me safe. The effect wears off quickly, but I will make sure you don't run out of wine, as long as you keep the enemies off of me. Now, watch my technique. Were you drunk when I told you last time? If you wish to use Drunken Master, bring me with you. I will throw you bottles of wine, which you must pick up. The effect of the wine wears off, but I will keep a continuous supply of wine flowing as long as you keep the enemies away from me. Like many things in my life, it can be traced back to very bad luck on my part. As I mentioned once before, I was a master of the Drunken Master style. I was the tournament champion in Phoenix Gate when things spun out of control. My need for wine took its toll on my body. There are long periods I don't even remember. After one such period, I came to, having lost most of my clothes and all my money. I was destitute, and without the ability to buy more wine, I couldn't even fight. Eventually, I found work cleaning out creature cages at the local arena. One day, I was approached by a man who remembered seeing me fight. He offered to sponsor me. Just like that, I was back in the ring. After climbing my way back to the top of the tournament, my sponsor told me it was time to fulfill my end of the bargain. Apparently, the agreement stipulated that I must marry his niece. If only I had read the agreement more closely, I could still be shoveling dirt in the creature cages. No. That is a painful subject, one that brings back difficult memories, though not for the reasons you might think. For 4 long years, my bellicose beauty insisted we try, and try, and try again to have a child. It was a most distressing time. I was so afraid of her for the first year that I could not perform. Her screaming and chastising only made it worse. I overcame that problem, but there were others. My plump plum of a bride is a good deal larger than me. I could compare my nightly efforts akin to climbing a mountain if only it had been that easy. And there was always the fear that she would roll. I am a small man. My delicate frame was not meant for such pressures. I once lost all feeling below the waist, which perhaps was a mercy in itself. Of course, we overcame these obstacles and kept trying for 4 long years. Once she decided we would not be able to conceive a child, her interests declined, thankfully. If we had succeeded, I would not have survived to see a second. Alas, fate had a crueler path in mind for me. Let that be a lesson for you. Always read the fine print, or you may end up with more than you bargained for. As to why I became a bun master, well, it's a hard, thankless job that keeps me very, very busy. Very busy. No, you have saved my life. You deserve to hear the terrible, awful truth. As I said, there were other problems. No, my wife has only happened to one man, me. Besides, I wasn't the source of all of our problems. There's really not much more to tell, I'm afraid. Never. Though no one can accuse me of not trying. I still can't believe it's that easy to become a Lotus assassin. If I had known sooner, I would have joined their ranks as soon as possible. It would be brutal work, with little reward, and there's a good chance I'd die a hideous, painful death. But it couldn't all be better than married life, could it? Asking the same question over and over and expecting a different answer. That is the definition of a pestering and overbearing wife. Please try to stop reminding me of my missing missus. It is a memory too painful to bear. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but shouldn't we be heading back to the palace? I don't like it any more than you, but it seems that's where we need to be. Thank you again for rescuing me from those things. I owe you my deepest gratitude. Is there some way I can be of assistance? Oh yes, I'm very proud of that. Indeed, something very useful. Buns, that is. Everybody needs them. Oh yes, very proud. I would sooner return to the cannibals and offer them what little flesh is left on my bones. But let's not discuss such things, if you don't mind. As you wish. I will be here waiting impatiently if you require anything. Prosperous tidings. What can humble Ho do to assist you today? It would seem we have our work cut out for us, but as my darling wife likes to say, when things are tough, quit your whining and get to work. I can almost hear her screaming at me now. If ever you find a cure for bad memories, please let me know. I think we need to find that wind map and get out of here. Pardon my craven nature, but I'm afraid it's all I have left after long years of wedded bliss. We have the wind map, so I think we should leave, immediately. I have many fine traits, but I'm afraid my backbone has been crushed by years of wedded bliss. I never realized that getting back to the Imperial City would be so hazardous to my health. I was hoping the cannibals were the worst thing I would see. I think we should keep moving. I have a bad feeling that if we stay in one place too long, we won't ever leave. It would seem that we at last have the means necessary to get us back to the Imperial City, and for that I should be very glad. However, I must now face the greatest trial of all. My sweet wife will no doubt be waiting for me. Soon my time with the cannibals will be nothing but a fond memory. Perhaps in a little while. Memories of my wife are difficult to bear, especially when she is so very far away and I may never see her again. As I mentioned, I am but a simple bun master, with a dear wife who has turned my life into a miserable cesspool devoid of humor and excitement. Bless her soul. My wife ensures that I work very hard every day to become the best bun master in the Imperial City, perhaps the best in all the Empire. Though I was one of the most respected fighters in the Empire before I met my precious bride, she made sure that I became something more, or less. As I mentioned before, my style requires that I drink. She detests drinking, though there are things she detests even more, like talk of us separating. My loving wife would knead me into several small dumplings and boil me in hot oil if she suspected I was even speaking to you about leaving her. Life is not all bad, though. I may have lost all my dignity and self-respect, along with my ability to fight, or even make a tight fist, but I am a bun master of some renown. I think we should go back to the temple, and quickly, before those flyers drop more Lotus assassins.
More is good. Let them come.
But we'd be safer in the temple.
We're safer if I destroy the enemies they send. I prefer an active defense.
This path leads out of the temple courtyard. We must turn around if we are to help the others.
I don't care where we go, as long as I fight something soon.
Really, we should consider making our way back to the temple.
Yes. Just keep the wine flowing, and I'll make sure your head stays on your shoulders.
However much I would enjoy your conversation, I really think we should concentrate on not getting killed for now. We must get out of here. Be careful. So much ground has shifted under these graves, there's no telling what we woke up.
There's action elsewhere? This is the big finish! I wouldn't miss this fight.
Yes, onward to victory. I am thoroughly surprised that I even considered entering this place without being bound to your will. What was I thinking? Whatever you command. I don't appear to have much of a choice. Alas, fate had a crueler path in mind for me. Let that be a lesson for you. Always read the fine print, or you may end up with more than you bargained for. Well, that was exciting. Are you certain we are not needed elsewhere? No? I see. Well, I suppose there's nothing left to do but to go home. Yes, dear. Yes, dear. Yes, dear. Yes, dear.
I can only come to one conclusion. Lord Lau's furnace.
Lord Lau? He is just a legend, like saying all millstones are based on his machine that carved the coast for the great dragon.
He is me.
Well, that would explain why your devices seem so unconcerned with our safety.
What? Oh, my. It seems we have transported to a heaven. A strangely familiar one for some reason, but I don't recall ever moving to such a place before.
Kang! You and your infernal inventions are going to get us all killed! I've got the wine. Let's go! I just hope we don't bump into my suspicious spouse. This may be a bad time to tell you, but I'm allergic to death, especially my own. Let's go knead some dough! What, it's the best I could come up with. You're not taking me someplace dangerous, I hope. I hope nobody touches my buns while I'm gone. I made the wine extra strong. You just have to ignore the chunky bits. I'm flattered you chose me. Scared to death, but flattered. Sagacious Zoo is ahead of us? What fool willingly descends into a ghoulish place like this? Only the most disturbed of madmen, certainly. Outside of ourselves, of course. We remain perfectly sane, despite doing exactly the same. I worry about Sagacious Zoo, and about what he has in store for us. I have had my suspicions all along. Now it appears those concerns were well-founded. It looks like we won't have long to wait. Kang better keep his mind on his task at the bridge, or this will be a short last stand. As annoyances go, I think ours is more pressing. Or have you all forgotten the entire army of the Emperor? You do not face Emperor Sun Li. You face the whole of the Imperial Army. All of it. Not lone assassins or a single brigade, but the whole of the army, golems and all. Pardon the intrusion, but might I add the entire army of the Emperor to that list? Or is that too small a thing for your attention? We will start securing the temple. The great gates of this place will grant us some valuable time. At least they will not take us by surprise. Some assassins got past the bridge on flyers. You, change your skin, or whatever it is you do, and hold them off. I will go make sure the Black Whirlwind is awake. A new loafer, ho, letting a little girl cover my retreat. Remember to come meet up at the temple after. Keep it away from me! Kill it! Kill it! You're awake! It sounds like the army is on the move. They're on their way up the mountain. Sky left a few hours ago. He said he was going to see how far up the mountain they had come. We haven't heard from him since, and I'm worried.
Look, he's back!
Well, that's convenient for my nerves. Bad, very bad. What are we going to do? They'll be across the main bridge in no time.
Are you sure I shouldn't just charge the main gate? They wouldn't be expecting that.
Unexpected acts are not always successful acts. The Jade Empire was built on tradition. I do not know this new land.
What have they done to this creature?
I have seen enough. Time to go, yes, please? My eyes were not meant to see this. The horror of this. Please, see the consequences and remember who you are. This I really don't care for. Someone, help! I really do not like this. My blood is very important to me. There are others here who may wish to express a preference in this matter. Yes, I am ever so useful.
What the hell is going on?
Yes, well said.